The woods are lovely, dark and deep. But I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
He's extremely humble. He likes to work from behind the scenes. He's not the one who wants to get all the glory. His ultimate goal is to get a project done.
If you think about his personal story, the fact that he started out as a coal miner who nursed himself back to health using cycling, riding a bike, and then he goes from miner to cyclist to trail advocate and trail builder, that's someone who's always evolving, in my opinion.
I was in a roof fall accident, and it severely damaged my right foot, and I was unable to walk for about a year. So in rehab I started on the trail, so I converted from a coal miner into a trail advocate. So right away I sort of had a mission on what I wanted to do, and I can remember I asked the Land Trust for a company vehicle, and they bought me a bicycle, a trailer, and a pick and a shovel, and told me I could go work on the drains anytime I wanted to. Most of this trail was put together by volunteers, and they came out and they had a vision too of wanting a trail. And I know lots of times that I would tell them, well, this is what we're going to do, and they would look at me and say, you're crazy, why do you want to do that? But they bought into the bigger picture, and they're willing to do it. So I think the buy-in of the volunteers and the pride that I see that people have of the trail and what they've been able to accomplish, that's the thing I'm most proud of.
What I think is really unique about Ron is there's not a lot of ego involved. He is always evolving as a person. As capable as he is as a trail builder, he is learning from others. He's willing to learn from anybody, and I really love that about Ron.
There's more and more families that are using the trail, and it doesn't matter if you're the richest person in Armstrong County or you're struggling to get along, you can come out in the trail and you see them enjoying it. So that's, the trail has given me so much that I'm able to give back, and that gives me great pride and satisfaction.
Ron is the type of man that he definitely wants to leave something for the future generations.
He took me along the Armstrong Trail and took me to the free little library that he created, and the little children's walking path in honor of his granddaughter. And I just really, was touched by that he shared that, and that he was able to share that part of his family's hardship and share that with others by creating something that children along the trail might enjoy.
The little library came about by the tragic loss of my granddaughter, Kennedy Ross. That she was 2.5 years old, and she died suddenly of brain cancer. And since I'd done a lot of work on the trail, people said, let's do something along the trail for her.
It was very touching. I mean, it took a lot for him to be able to call, but he said later on, he got back to us and he said, hey, we're looking at this on a positive thing. She touched a lot of lives, and that's how we're going to remember her. And at that point, we had people wanting to do something to help the Steffey family. And that's how he connected to her, was actually on the trail. So they would go for rides in the wagon and take a little drink and a book, and they would walk some, get out, have a little snack, and then he'd read to her and bring them back. But
I think with just having my grandchildren just slow me down a little bit and appreciate what we have in the area, that's what's needed. It's an active recreation that you can enjoy. It goes back to a poem that I had to learn in high school, and it didn't mean that much to me, but it always stayed with me. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep. And that's a real world that you'd like to enjoy more, but you have promises to keep. But miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. And that's how I look at it, that there's a lot more that can be done.